Hello, this is Harwin from SEO. Today, the topic of the podcast is it's not a performance. So, personally, I did not have this problem much because I did not do any performance of any sort. Maybe I did not know how to sing, dance, and those kind of talented people stuff that people do. But some of my friends that recently I was talking to my friend, and he was a singer, and a lot of times when they're selling and marketing or talking to people, they think of it as some kind of performance that they have to do, and people are watching, and they have to do everything perfectly, and it has to be smooth, and it has to be well articulated, and there should be no objections, and it should be all very, it should look all perfect, and interactions are really that way in real life, and it kind of stops them from actually doing and making mistakes and eventually becoming a better communicator. So in this podcast, this is for people who thinks that it is kind of a performance that you have to do. And I've met people, some people who are actually thinking that way, that they have to make some kind of performance, and when they're doing a sales presentation or those kind of things, that they have to perform in a way that you have to just the perfect PPT and the perfect lines they have to think, and this kind of thing. And it is when you think of it as you kind of some kind of pro performer on stage who is equivalent to singing, and maybe who's a great orator and those kind of things. This will not what an actual salesman or marketer thinks like in real life, and it could be a bad mindset to have, and it does affect your actual ROI performance over time. So, what is the solution out of it? Keep the things separate. If you're doing a performance of any sort, that is something different. But here's how it affects you if you're doing something in a sales that you think of it as a performance. So, if you think that this is kind of a performance that I have to perform and get good at, first of all, the thought of you thinking that you have to get it makes you in a position of wanting it to happen, makes you kind of needy, makes you kind of the kind of desperation, puts you in a sort of a position that you need the sale, and this kind of thing, when you are thinking those kind of thoughts, they it brings out the kind of neediness that the person will sense when you're performing, whatever, in court, performing or selling in front of them. They will figure out that you have this need to be perfect and needing the sale, and this kind of insecurity will they will feel it, and if you, they'll feel when they feel that you're not willing to walk out, or we don't have any other options, this will kind of lower your negotiating ability to say, and it put you at a bad place. So whenever you're doing, you should always have a outcome free, independent mind. Whenever you're doing something, you should be wanting it to close every sale, but if it's not going through, it should be fine too. If you are invested, so I have thinking about the right word, yeah, the word is invested. If you're too much invested in that performance or that sale, it in itself lowers your chances of achieving it. So when you're thinking in a performance mindset, you're getting too invested in something, and once you get too invested in this performance, or that you have to perform, and you have to close that sale, and you have to say the right perfect words all the time, and those kind of things. And it is natural if you're like a singer, and those stand-up comedians, and what actors and those kind of things, if you have in their profession, yes, it is a requirement. But if you're selling to someone, if you're talking to them face to face, if you have those kind of agendas, and if you're invested so much, it will come up in your delivery. So this is something that will be negative in the long run. So that's all. I actually did not have any talent and did not perform anywhere. So thankfully, this did not come to me at any time. So I'd never thought about it this way. But those people who are per- in the performing singers and those kind of things, you have to remember that this is not a performance. It is not something that you create a YouTube video and show everyone that yes, this is how greatly how I closed the sale. Because a lot of times it does not work the same way in real life. So stop having this performance mindset. This is Harwin from SU World signing out.